Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Brockton Boxer Football. From Barnstable on the Cape, a rematch between Barnstable High School taking on the Brockton Boxers, standing at 1-0 on the young season with a victory last week, 35-8 in the opener against Springfield Central Catholic. I'm Bob Sondheim calling the play-by-play, joined tonight by Miles Jackson and Brian Madden. Guys, we're going to have quite a ball game tonight. This was an interesting game. I was here 2 years ago to do the ball game, a low-scoring affair where Brockton made several mistakes, and Barnstable came away. I think they had every kid on the Cape here marching, doing things at halftime, you name it. And Barnstable upset Brockton that night in the opening game of the season 2 years ago. They were paced at that point by a guy named Stefan Gomes. Not here tonight. He's graduated on to the University of Maine. But tonight, the Brockton Boxers, a different look, Miles. They came off a very stunning, impressive win last week, 35-8 at the hands of the Springfield Central Catholic team.
Indeed so, Bob. Speed was the definite factor last week against the win against Central Springfield High. And Coach Colombo said that this is probably the fastest front line that he's ever coached for since he's been here at Brockton High.
Well, I was taking a look at the size. They're not a particularly big team. They're more of a stocky, short, stocky team, but speed does have a lot to say about it. And speaking about speed, how about Robert Whitaker? Robert Charles Whitaker, great game last week, made 2 touchdown catches, a 27-yard jump ball in the corner of the end zone, and it was his play that really paced the difference. Young Mike Kershaw, of course, taking over for the graduated Eric Boatwright now at Boston College, had a fine ball game in his own right, too.
Indeed so, Bob. Like you said, Robert Whitaker, the senior, 6'2", 185-pound senior. He's definitely a speedster out there, and he made a couple of beautiful catches last week for touchdowns, as you said.
Well, we have quite a crowd on hand. Our vantage point, unfortunately, a little bit short. We're down in the front, so a lot of people have a chance to ogle us as we try to peer through a lot of red-shirted Barnstable Red Raiders standing on the sideline. We'll do the best we can to try to bring you the yardage as much as possible. We play 11-minute quarters, and, of course, the Brockton Boxers trying to stay on the unbeaten ways tonight and also trying to get some measure of revenge against the Red Raiders and what had to be an upset a couple years ago.
Yes, the Red Raiders are coming off a Super Bowl season last year. They've lost a lot of their starters, but I'm sure they're up for the challenge tonight against the Boxers of Brockton.
Well, I think you're right, too. And talking to a couple of the officials before the game from Barnstable High School, they were talking about how they were really hurt as far as graduation was concerned. But they really capitalized on the victory against Brockton 2 years ago, and as you said, went to the Super Bowl, which is quite an achievement. All set to go. Brockton will kick off, and doing that, of course, will be Eric Ampuja, who does the kickoffs and the points after touchdown. Look for Archie Johnson, number 10, to handle the punting responsibilities. All set to go. 11-minute quarters, as I say. Should have a good ball game for you. The Brockton Boxers, of course, dressed in their away uniforms, the white with the black and red trim, with the black socks, and the red and white Red Raiders all set to receive. And there's the kickoff. A dribbling ball that heads out of bounds. You'll see a flag go up. 5-yard penalty on that. Look for Sadi Sumter. Wears number 21. He's one of the running backs, along with the ever-dangerous Clinton Brown wears number 1 for the Red Raiders. They're back deep, anticipating the kick. And I guess the Red Raiders will take the ball instead of the re-kick. They will go at it this way. The quarterback will be John Rizzo. He wears number 2. In the backfield, look for the fullback, Andy Caplice, number 42.
Well, it looks like they're going to kick it again, Bob.
We are going to have another kick.
Yeah.
You're right. And also Sadi Sumter, number 21. As I mentioned before, Clinton Brown is an all-purpose man, goes both ways for this team, as well as special team play. He wears number 1, the scat back for this club.
Yeah, this is Barnstable's first game of the year, so they're pretty excited about meeting a foe as strong and well-known as Brockton High School.
But you have to wonder, too, when it's your first game of the year, is it an advantage for Brockton that they already have a game under their belt and maybe have some of the kinks worked out? You have to believe so, but, of course, they're on the road before a very partisan crowd tonight. So here we go. We're probably going to have to stand up here because all kinds of people down below us.
Eric Ampuja is a senior, 6'1", 190 pounds.
Great kicker. He approaches the ball, drills the ball left side. This will be Sadi Sumter at about his 10, the 20, out to the 30 and beyond. And we'll see where the officials mark it down. Nice 18, 20-yard return for number 21, Sadi Sumter, to start our ball game after the 5-yard mark-off.
Yeah, Sadi looks like he has quite a bit of speed there as he took the ball straight ahead.
So a nice return by Sumter to get us going. Look for quarterback Rizzo. He wears number 2. And he'll call the signals. And he'll be joined in the backfield by Sadi Sumter, number 21, the all-purpose back. And you'll see some of Andy Caplice, more of a blocker, we believe, number 42. Rizzo hands off to Sumter. He's got a nice running room around the right side and a good pickup on a first down carry by number 21. Good straight downfield blocking by his interior front line.
Yeah, Sadi looks like a tough person to bring down as he was shedding a couple of tackles there.
About a gain of 8 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 2. Good gain on first down. So important to get good yardage on first down. It increases all your odds with 2nd and short. And 2nd and 2 facing the Red Raiders. Their first try on offense. We're just underway. And straight ahead, see where they mark the ball down. I think it's going to be short of the first down.
Yeah, the defensive line held very well there.
And a good defensive line it is, too, for the Brockton Boxers. They come at it out of a 4-4, a little different defensive set that we've been used to in the past. LaFontaine, Gene Paul, Reaganson Roger, and Jamal Garrison, the front 4 for the Boxers, with Sean Bello, David Gurin, Carlos Cataquet, and Tyrone Pruitt, the linebackers supporting the front cast. A little bit short of the first down. We're looking at third, maybe a little bit less than a yard for a Red Raider first down. Rizzo goes to the sideline, as most quarterbacks do. They do not call their own game. He goes to the sideline to get the all-important third down call from the offensive coordinator. And Sumter is going to be stopped short. In fact, he loses yardage on the play.
Now, that was a big play for
couple.
Brockton High's defensive line. They had to hold Barnstable, which looks like it had a pretty big line there, offensive line.
I think they were definitely keying on number 21, Sumter. As I mentioned before, he's the bread and butter guy you're going to go to, and Brockton stacks it up for a loss, and they're going to go back into deep punt formation right now.
And we've got Brandon Hill and number 80.
Darrell Acker, number 79, should be the kicker. Here's the kick away, and it's a short kick, too. No run back here. Just got to get out of the way of the ball as it goes out of bounds. And we'll try and see exactly where it is for you. It's inside the 40 at about maybe close to the 35-yard line or so. First down for the Boxers. Now the Boxers start with Mike Kershaw, the senior quarterback, number 14. In the backfield, look for Calvin Duncan, 32, the ever-dangerous James Jackson, who I remember as a sophomore. He's now a senior, one of the captains of the squad. Brandon Hill, number 23, will see action as well.
Brings up a fourth down.
And we are back
the Boxers.
after a brief delay where we had to move our position. We're now perched on top of the broadcast booth. Again, Bob Sondheim here with you, with Brian Madden and Miles Jackson, bringing you Brockton Boxer football. And as we try to switch around here, we have a 4th down and 9 situation for the Boxers. They're going to go for it from the 30-yard line of the Red Raiders. Kershaw goes back to pass. There's Whitaker, and it's incomplete. And it will turn the ball over on downs, Miles. Barnstable first down.
Yeah, that went right through Whitaker's hands right there. I'm sure he's disappointed that he didn't catch that ball because he has pretty sure hands.
Yeah, and that one was a catchable ball. Let's bring you up to date. We missed about 5.5 minutes or so. Brockton scored just as we were being moved. Whitaker on the other end of a receiving touchdown from Kershaw, rolling out to his right, hitting his wide receiver for about 53 yards unofficially for the score. And Puja's try for the extra point was no good, and we stand at 6-0. And Brockton's defense, Miles, has been very strong tonight on 2 different occasions, and they recovered a fumble on the last possession by the Red Raiders. Here's Rizzo and the Red Raiders. They'll come out of the eye. The deep man, Sadi Sumter. Man in motion is Brown. Handoff goes to Sumter, and he's got maybe a yard or 2 before a stingy Brockton defense shuts him down after a short game.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with that defensive line still. They're really holding up well early in this ball game. Like I said, Barnstable has some pretty big guys up front there, but Brockton High is doing a nice job of filling in the holes and stymieing the running game of Barnstable.
Well, from what I heard, of course, I was not at the last game you were, but the 4-4 setup by the Brockton defense really stymied the heck out of Springfield Central Catholic last week. So far, it seems to be doing the job against the Red Raiders. Second down and 9 after a pickup by Sumter of 1 yard. Here's a fumble, ball on the ground, and it looks like Rizzo picks it up and plunges ahead, maybe for a short gain.
Yeah, that ball bounced. That was a Barnstable bounce because it bounced right back in his hands, so he was very lucky on that play.
Lucky break right there for the Raiders. No question about it. Their second fumble in as many possessions. We have 3:43 in the clock running here. 6-0 in favor of Brockton if you're just joining us. The touchdown again was about a 53-yard touchdown reception by Robert Charles Whitaker. And, of course, that one came from Mike Kershaw, the senior quarterback. Right now, the officials stepping in. We're going to have a timeout called. I think Brockton wants to talk it over. Stoppage of the clock at 3:25 to go here in the first quarter. Armin Colombo in his 41st head coaching year. And, of course, he's closing in on a milestone. Just an incredible career for the head coach of Brockton. Brockton will call the timeout. You're allowed 5 timeouts, of course, per half. I believe this is the first one. While we were moving, I don't believe there was a timeout.
Yes, Bob, this is Coach Colombo's.
You can also pick up your Red Raider keychains.
His record at the moment is 298 wins, 88 losses, and 8 ties over 41-year span.
It's just incredible. A great career by a great head coach. And, of course, just 2 victories away as you mark it. He has 298 head coaching victories, just 2 away, hoping to get 1 closer tonight. And, of course, he's a tough one against the very next week. Here's a rush against Rizzo, and he's going down. Great rush that time. Let's get the number on it.
That was number 32, big Calvin Duncan.
Boy, Calvin Duncan, no place to go. Had some help in there, 57, Sean Bello.
Yeah, speed played a part in that particular play right there. As you know, Calvin Duncan is a pretty big guy, and he just caught right up to that quarterback and pulled him down.
Absolutely. You're right on the money on that one. I'd say he just tracked Rizzo right down for a big loss. So it's going to be a 4th down situation, 4th and about 15. Punt time for Acker and the Red Raiders. Another short kick. Stepping up on it this time will be Whitaker. Watch the speed here. He's got a lane around the right side. 30. 1 man to beat at the 20. And he's going to go all the way for a touchdown for Whitaker. His second score at the 2:30 mark here in the first quarter. Boy, is he exciting.
Again, Bob, as Coach Colombo said from the last game, that speed kills, and speed definitely killed on that play right there.
R.I.P. on that one, I'll tell you. He just got a lane around the right side, had some good blocking. You could see the wall setting up. Nobody close to getting a hold of Whitaker, and except 1 man back, and he just juked him, just like he did in the first touchdown for the score.
Good point, Bob, where you said good blocking, because basically he was just about untouched, and you saw a lot of nice blocks made out there by the special teams.
Well, I think you might see Brockton go for 2 right here. The score 12-0 after Impuja's try for the extra point after the first score was no good. Let's see what they call. They will go for the 2 right now.
And they're going for 2.
And split the backs in the backfield with Jackson and Duncan. Kershaw drops back now, rolls out of the pocket. Might try to take it in. Can he turn the corner? He can. Yes, he does. He's in there for the score.
That was, excuse me, Bob, that was a big hit on the quarterback, even though he was tough enough to get in the end zone.
Just going to say, showed a lot of toughness on that one. Kershaw, not an awfully big kid, showed a lot of toughness, as you said, correctly so. Gets in for the 2-pointer to make the score. Brockton 14, and the Red Raiders no score.
Yeah, Mike Kershaw, he's 6'1", 185-pound senior, so he's not really a big guy, but he can take a hit.
Already more points than Brockton got 2 years ago when I sat down among a very jubilant band of Red Raider fans as they led the upset that night over the Boxers. The Boxers definitely have revenge on their mind tonight on this trip down to Cape Cod. And I can't believe the weather is as nice as it is down here. It looked like the end of the world coming down Route 3 to cover this ball game on our way down to Cape Cod. But we made it. We're here.
Yes, we did.
And we're glad you could be with us for Boxer football. My thanks too. Again, you're going to hear from Brian Madden. We only have 2 headsets, so there are 3 of us. Brian will join us for quarters 2 and 4, and old veteran Miles Jackson with me for quarters 1 and 3. Eric Ampuja will line it up from his 40-yard line. Sumter and Brown deep for the Red Raiders. They trail it by 2 touchdowns. Brockton off to a great start both on offense and defense tonight. Ampuja, nice drilled kick this time. Goes to Brown, goes right by him. He'll probably knee it down and does so. It'll come out to the 20. Good pursuit by the Brockton special team defense.
That was a beautiful kick, Bob, by Eric Ampuja, the senior.
Nice low kick, very tough ball to handle, and it scooted right by number 1, Brown. So Rizzo and the offense will come out once again. And now they trail it by 2 touchdowns. This is a big possession in this game. You don't want to go down by more than 2 scores, especially against a dangerous team like the Brockton offense.
And we're still in the first quarter.
That's right. So Brockton again flashing that 4-4 defense. Sumter lines it up. Behind number 42, Andy Caplice. And a short gain here, maybe about 4 or 5 yards, actually a little bit more than I thought, so it'll be a second down. Call it 5, maybe 6 yards for the Red Raiders on a first down carry.
Yeah, I tell you, Bob, Peter Colombo, the defensive coordinator, has done a fine job and really turned his defense around from the point of last year.
Noticing now Isaac Hendricks in the ball game at quarterback. He wears number
7. Isaac Hendricks in a quarterback.
Just came in off the bench. His first try at the quarterback slot. Wears number 7. Again out of the eye, and we could have a jump.
Flag on the field.
Let's see if the penalty will be on Brockton. Getting off to a good start was Gene Paul. Was it too good of a start? We'll let the officials decide as they huddle.
Yeah, I tell you, Gene Paul, defensive lineman, 5'8". He's only 5'8", but he's 280 pounds. And so he's a big one out there. As you can see, he knocked that lineman right over.
And not only that, but he picks up the 5-yard illegal procedure penalty on the Red Raiders.
So he's quick, too, because once the movement on the line happened, big Gene Paul rumbled right in there.
Yes, he did.
Again, this defensive line is very quick.
Not a bad exchange. You put your opponent right on the keister and pick up 5 yards to boot. So we're back to about the original line of scrimmage, but it's second down now and 10. Hendricks, the quarterback. We have another flag thrown by the line judge. We'll check that off. Check that out after the handoff to Sumter. We'll check it out. Maybe somebody got off to a quick start. Penalty was thrown right away.
Legal procedure.
5 more yards will be marked off.
Well, I hate to say it, Bob, but this
Penalties
Red
called
Raider
on
team
the Red
might be
Raiders.
a little bit rattled at the front line area because Brockton's really manhandling them.
Before we were moved, I will moved in a physical sense, and we're certainly being moved in a sensual sense here, the way Brockton's playing. But before we were moved, we were talking about how this is the first ball game of the year for the Red Raiders.
Right.
And it's good to get the kinks out of your system. And, of course, Brockton has that advantage with the first game last week. Third down situation here. And great wide pursuit on Sumter. And shutting it down right there, number 33, David Gurn.
Number 33.
One of the linebackers.
David Gurn.
Good pursuit.
Yeah, Dave Gurn made a lot of noise last week also, along with Calvin Duncan. Those 2 guys made a lot of noise as linebackers. They're quick, they're fast, and they have a nose for the football.
Great play by Gurn, good pursuit. This Brockton team very quick as we talk about speed, both on offense and defense. Fourth down and 5, another situation for a kick for the Red Raiders. They just can't do anything on offense so far in this game. We're under a minute, 30 seconds, and the clock rolls on. Very bad kick off the side of the foot, heads out of bounds, and will be downed inside the, well, it's the 46-yard line on the Red Raiders side of the field. So excellent field position for the Brockton Boxers, already up in this game, 14-zip.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Barnstable team, their punter has done a terrible job as far as punting the football and has given Brockton excellent field position every time they get the ball back.
And those are big yards, too, especially in a kick like this, where now the ball's in your own end of the field. And, of course, Brockton with all kinds of time, not only in the first quarter here, but, of course, a whole second quarter to try to go up by 3 touches. Kershaw over to have a word with his coaching staff. The senior having another good ball game so far tonight, and a great run for a 2-point conversion after the last Boxer touchdown. They'll work out of the I. The up man is Duncan, and the I man is Jackson on a first down and 10 from the 46 of the Red Raiders. Give it to the up man, and Duncan carries it full steam ahead down to about the 42, 43-yard line. He'll pick up about 3, maybe 4.
I tell you, that was a nice tackle by number 44.
Barnstable
for
tackle
Barnstable.
made by number 44.
That's Waskowitz, excuse me. Waskowitz.
Yeah, that was a nice tackle. He basically...
He's made a couple.
Yes. Excellent
That
tackle.
was Waskowitz on the tackle.
Justin
If he
Waskowitz.
didn't make
And
that
that is the
tackle,
end of
I
the
think he would have
first quarter.
gained a few more yards on that play.
I think you're right, too. I tell you, good blocking by Brockton. We've reached the end of the first quarter of play. It's been all Brockton High School. And I tell you, 2 touchdowns by the ever-dangerous Whitaker, picking up just where he left off last week. And Whitaker and the Brockton Boxers up by a score of 14-0. And now, as we play musical microphones, I'm joined by Brian Madden. Brian, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Well, you have to be impressed with the way Brockton looks on both sides of the football tonight.
Oh, yes, they're doing an awesome job. Charles Whitaker has made 2 fantastic plays, you know, with the TD, the 53-yard TD pass early in the first quarter, and then the 50-yard TD punt return.
That was a great punt return, too. Excellent downfield blocking by the Boxers on that.
Yes.
Now, you know something about this guy, Whitaker. You were talking off camera. Why don't you share it with the fans about his other athletic exploits?
Oh, Charles Whitaker, Robert Charles Whitaker. He's a fantastic basketball player as well as a fantastic football player, and he's just an all-around athlete.
Also does some track,
he does track as well, you know, and does the
Amazing.
jumps for Brockton High.
That's terrific. Well, I'll tell you, he's off to a great start. And I tell you, he just puts the afterburners on. He's leaving people in his wake.
Yes.
So he had that great game last week against Springfield Central Catholic, and he had 2 touchdowns in that game. 2 touchdowns in the first quarter of tonight's ball game, so he's roaring away.
Yes, he's already got a good start towards MVP of the season.
Oh, I think so. Well, the Boxers now, after the end of the first quarter, are looking at a 2nd down and 5 situation to pick up a 5 in the last carry by Duncan. And, of course, they have the ball squarely in Red Raider territory at about the 42-yard line. 1st and 10. Again out of the I. The fake. Give it off to Jackson. Jackson at the 40. Steps inside. He's going to be short of the first down. He'll bring it down to about the 38 or so. So he'll be short by maybe a couple yards, and it should be about a 3rd and 2.
Yes, that was a good run by
Red Raider
Jackson.
tackled by number 1, Clint Brown.
He was swallowed up by
And number
Barnstable
76
defense.
at ready.
Good tackle by Clinton
We have a
Brown,
third
preventing
down
the
for the
first
Boxers.
down. And, of course, Armin Colombo out to have a word with the senior quarterback, Kershaw, number 14. Different look that Kershaw gives you from the very strong arm of Eric Boatwright. But I tell you, all things change. So Kershaw has 2 wide receivers split out. Hand the ball off. Here comes the first down
Jackson
run
on the
by
carry.
Jackson as he knifes in between 2 would-be tacklers and gets it inside the 30 down to about
Jackson
the 28.
brought down by number 82, Glackey, and number 24.
Gladkey in on the tackle, along with number
Emmett
24,
Hargraves.
Emmett Hargraves. Now they're going to bring it back. We have a holding call against the
Brockton
Boxers.
penalty.
So a big call on a 3rd down play right here, Brian.
Yeah, there was a big call. Jackson got the first down, and due to negligence on somebody on the Brockton team, I'm sorry. At the moment,
That's okay.
I haven't got quite in the swing of things yet.
You're innocent
still
in
having
high school.
technical
That's the way we
difficulties.
look at it. But the holding call does take precedence and marks the ball back to about the 45-yard line. Just outside the 45, it's going to be a 3rd down. But now it's going to be 3rd down and about 13 yards to go for a Boxer first down. Boxers ahead, 14-0 if you're just joining us. We're here on Old Cape Cod down at Barnstable. Barnstable High School's first ball game of the year against the 1-0 Brockton Boxers. We're happy to be on and glad you can be with us for Brockton Boxer football.
3rd down for the Boxers.
Split 2 men to the right side, nobody out to the left. Kershaw likes to roll right. He may do that now and does. He's got some company and he's going to go down.
Kershaw is brought
Loss of
down
about 10
by
yards on the
Waskowitz.
play. There's Waskowitz
And
again.
number
This kid
66.
Waskowitz off to a good start tonight defensively.
Yes, that was a good tackle by Roskowitz. You know,
That was Bobby Doherty
Brockton lost
assisting on the
about
tackle.
10 yards on that play.
Had some help by Bobby Doherty as well. So Doherty and Waskowitz combined for a sacking of Kershaw, his first. It brings up a punting situation. Look for number 10 into the ball game. Excuse me, number 10, Archie Johnston, will punt the ball away, most likely for the Brockton Boxers on a fourth
Fourth
down.
down.
That's exactly what we have. Johnson's first punt of the night. He'll line up inside his 35 and kick from about that point. Now we have a
Archie
stoppage of play.
Johnson back to kick.
Yeah, there's a flag on the play.
Check the flag. Would be an illegal substitution, I don't know. See what the officials will assess. Disregard the flag is the call. We heard that one all the way up here, so the microphones are working on the playing surface. 8:58 to go. We play 11-minute quarters.
And we have Messrs. Sumter and Brown back deep.
So Johnson again will line
For
it
the
up.
Red
Sumter
Raiders.
and Brown deep for the Raiders. Anticipating the kick from Archie Johnson. Gets it away. Nice end-over-end kick. Comes down to about the 25. There'll be no return of this ball. And it will be down just outside the 25 at about the 26. Nice kick by Archie Johnson with no return by the Red Raiders.
Yes, yes. That was a good kick by Archie Johnson.
His first of the game.
Yeah, Brockton hasn't had to kick too many. You know, when they get the ball,
Rizzo
they've,
back in the
pretty much
quarterback.
been moving
Red Raider
downfield.
first
They've been very
down.
effective on offense, but you know, Brian, you really have to be impressed with this 4-4 defense. Boy, they put a lot of heat on the quarterback so far. They seem to be shutting down Sadie Sumter, a very dangerous runner, very well. Now notice that Clinton Brown is lined up in the backfield. I think that's number 1.
Yes.
No, it is Sumter. I'm sorry, and he has the ball. This is Sumter going right side. Got a lane this time. 35-40. Tries to get outside, and the pursuit finally shuts him down, but not before a Red Raider first down. And one of the shining lights offensively, maybe the only one so far in this game. First down pickup by Sumter as he rumbles his way out past the 45 to the 47.
Yes, that was a beautiful run by Sumter. I mean, he got around, he had his blockers, and Shirley was able to drag him out of bounds before he was able to break free and, you know, get on in for a touchdown.
Had some good blocking over there, 75. John Hayward, the right tackle. Eric Archibald, 73. And big Brian Noonan, also number 99, the tight end, paving the way for a big Sumter first down. They'll give it back to Sumter. This time left side. Looks like an identical play. And again, he picks up excellent yardage, and he might have the first down. I believe he does. Might have about 11 yards in that carry before he's forced out of bounds on the Red Raider side of the field. So he goes right side for a good gain. Now left side for 11 more yards, and here comes the ever-dangerous number 21.
Yes, ever-dangerous number 21 on both ends of the field, because Shirley ran all the way from the other end of the field and ran him down and stopped him from getting more yards than he would have.
Good point you make right there. But a first down for the Raiders nonetheless in Brockton territory the first time tonight. They'll line the ball up at about the 42-yard line. Rizzo looks around, again out of the eye. We give it to Caplice, the up man this time for a change of pace, and he plunges ahead for a gain of about 3 or 4. Every once in a while you have to keep that defense honest.
Definitely. And
they give to the up man, the blocking back, number 42, Caplice. And Andy has about 3 or 4 yards for the guys in red.
He's brought down by Lance Fontaine.
Red Raiders second down.
LaFontaine with a good tackle. Now I'm looking down at the field. Am I seeing some mist coming off the field? There's all kinds of strange stuff going on between the weather upstairs and now downstairs. We're starting to get some dewy conditions just beyond the Boxers up near the sideline. It's unbelievable.
I think that's steam coming off of their bodies because they're so hot.
Maybe so. That could be. Here's Sumter, and he's met head on. Great defensive play right there.
Sumter met at the line of scrimmage.
Let's see if that was Numerick. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it looks like
number 55.
55 it was. Carlos Cataquet.
Yeah.
Carlos Cataquet from his linebacker slot. The linebackers are playing excellent ball defensively.
Definitely.
Talking about Tyrone Pruitt, Carlos Cataquet. You saw David Gurn before. Sean Bellows been in a couple plays. Good linebacker core for this Brockton 4-4 defense.
Yeah, Sean Bellows made a nice play at the end of the first quarter with Cal Duncan that stopped him on a third down conversion.
3rd down and 7 right here. They'll try left side along with Sumter. He's going to be dragged down this time. Nice play by David Gurn. We just mentioned his name, number 33, one of the inside linebackers, and he drags down Sumter for actually a loss on the play. It'll bring up a 4th down situation and a real decision time for the head coach for the Red Raiders, trailing by 2 scores, but it looks like he might punt it away.
Yeah, it's still a whole lot of time left in the game. They still have the whole second half, and their defense has made a couple stops. So So they have plenty of time if they can just make some adjustments to try and neutralize this Brockton offense.
Well, that's a key in this ball game. And they changed punters, I noticed, too. Jason Pritchard now back there, number 80, 6'3", 205-pound junior. He's going to try his luck as he's lined up outside the 45-yard line. He'll kick from about midfield. Brockton sends 2 men back. Whitaker will be one. Also back there as well is number 23, Brandon Hill, in anticipation of the kick. Brockton called the 22nd timeout. Now a full timeout at the 6:17 mark before halftime.
Yes,
just joining us, 14-0.
Yeah, the Raiders have made a couple adjustments, as well as the kicker. They opted to go with
different quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback Isaac Hendricks over John Rizzo. You know, so they're trying anything they can do to try and get something going, get the momentum to change.
And I want to correct myself too, because I think I had mentioned Rizzo the last time, and of course Hendricks was in the ball game as we pointed out earlier. So with a timeout charge to the Brockton Boxers, both teams huddling on the sidelines. It will be a 4th down kicking situation. Pritchard to return to kick, we anticipate. So, and back deep, of course, again will be Brandon Hill, number 23, along with the ever-dangerous Robert Charles Whitaker, who's already strutted his stuff here in the first quarter of play, looking to try to get on the board in the second quarter to add to a Brockton 14-point lead.
And I'm telling you, Brockton is continuing to look strong as they did last week. They dominated the game last week, and they're dominating at least up to this point today.
I think they will push the advantage the way things are going.
Good way to start the season, wouldn't you say?
Now, watch this. Rizzo comes back on the field. Now they're looking like they're going to go for it. Man in the backfield, of course, is Sumter. So let's see if they're going to try and draw them offside, although they have more than 5 yards to go. They will run the play. Rizzo is sacked. No place to go. There's David Gurn again, number 33, and another fine play by number 33. No place to go after the trick play.
Gurn was... Gurn got in there so fast, I thought he was part of their backfield.
Throw him a red shirt. He'll be ready to play. Boy, no place to go. Rizzo is sacked, and the Boxers now with outstanding field position. The ball out at their own 43-yard line. Plenty of time and timeouts to go to add to a 2-touchdown advantage. Now you can really see the mist taking over on the field.
Yes.
This is interesting.
Might be a poltergeist.
First down.
A poltergeist it is. Haven't heard that word in a few years. Out of the eye again. Hill and Jackson behind quarterback Kershaw. Long count by the senior quarterback. Handed off to Jackson straight ahead right side. And good defensive effort by the Red Raiders after a short game, maybe of a yard. Out to about the 44-yard line. Call it 2nd and 9 for the Boxers.
Yes. That was a nice tackle by Ed Reddy.
Second down in a long
Hey, Jackson hit that hole with a lot of steam, but I'll tell you, the Red Raider defense just straightened him right up.
Yeah, Ed Reddy was ready for that one.
Eddie Reddy, one of the better names in sports. You know, that's the nice thing about doing these games. You always come across some great names.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Football names, yes.
Eddie Reddy.
John Rizzo's a pretty good football name,
too. That's a good one. Robert Charles Whitaker isn't a bad one either. We have a whistle.
Flag on the play.
We're getting our share of flags now all of a sudden. A lot of yellow hankies going up in the air. This will stop the play before it began on a 2nd down and 9. Probably against the Boxers. We'll wait and see.
Dead ball foul. False start.
Legal procedure, a false start called. Nice to see the referee's microphone working down on the field.
Yes.
They have trouble with that with the NFL often. So at the 5:24 mark, push it back 5 yards instead of 2nd and 9. We're looking at 2nd and 14. And just as importantly, the ball inside the Boxer 40.
2nd down and 15 for the Boxers.
Now let's see what is called by the offensive coordinators. They'll split 2 men out wide this way. And of course, the ever-dangerous Whitaker, number 80, is on that side. They'll go the other side, and they tried to set up the screen pass that time to Jackson, overthrown by Kershaw.
Yeah, Kershaw, wish he could have had that one back. He was holding his head in disgust because he knew.
I like the play. I really like the play.
It was a nice play because James Jackson was wide open.
Right.
And he would have got at least 6-7 yards.
Yeah,
on
the
that
2
play.
dangerous men split out wide to the right. Kershaw looks that way, rolls, and then turns back, throws to Jackson. The whole momentum was going towards this side of the field, towards us.
Yes.
Jackson was wide open, the pass overthrown. 3rd down and 14, call it 14, 15 yards. 3rd and long for the Boxers, again out of the eye. Passing situation right here, most likely. Kershaw drops back, bumps into his own man, gets away, and now he's going to be sacked.
Kershaw's
That play
brought
was
down
doomed
for
from the
loss.
start.
Yes,
as he
was.
banged into it. Looked like Jackson.
Tackled
Yeah, he looked kind of confused
by
on that play.
Reddy and number 43.
And I thought he was going to break
Colbert.
away and get a few yards, but Reddy and who else was in on that play?
Reddy was ready.
Reddy was ready.
Absolutely.
And I think Colburn was the other tackler.
Well, look for Archie Johnson to come into the ball game, and suddenly the Red Raider defense playing a fine second quarter after being manhandled in the first quarter. They've shut the Boxers down, trying to get back into this ball game. Archie Johnson lines up inside his 30-yard line. Got a good kick away the first time and an equally good one this time. High kick, Brown lets it go, and there'll be no return on this. You see the advantage of a good high kick, and the Brockton punter getting 2 nice kicks away with no return.
Yeah, the hang time makes a big difference as far as the defense getting down there to stop the play.
Go inside the 30
And
now.
we will
Excellent
have a
kick by
Red
Archie
Raider.
Johnson.
First down.
So it'll be a first down. They'll line the ball up actually at about the 28-yard line. Nice
That's
job
around
by
the
Archie
28-yard
Johnson
line.
and the special teams for the good coverage downfield, denying any run back by Brown. And Brown's a dangerous one. Number 1 was watching him practice before the ball game, taking those punt returns, and he's got some excellent speed.
Rizzo
But
at quarterback.
if you got the defense down there, you can't do much about it. Rizzo back at quarterback now after Hendricks. He tries to roll out in a semi-option play, has some room. 40, 45, and finally tripped up out at the
Rizzo keeps the ball
47-yard
for
line,
first down,
but not
tripped
before he
up.
gains 19 yards and a first down for the Raiders.
By number 28 from Brockton.
Junior Mark on the tackle coming up from his cornerback slot. But a nice gain
Junior
by
Mark
Rizzo.
on the stop
Yeah,
for the
that was a good
Boxers.
run by Rizzo. I mean, he didn't have that much of a seam, but he took advantage and made a couple nice cuts. Was
Yes.
able to get a nice little chunk of yardage there.
Some good shiftiness by number 2 back at the quarterback slot. He started the ball game, and of course Hendricks, number 7, relieved him. And now Rizzo back after a nice run of 19 yards, 1st and 10. Here's the pitch to Sumter.
Sumter.
And tried to step inside a block. That was not available. Sumter forced out of bounds. And some big pursuit. Now we have a late hit, it looks like. The flag went up in the air.
Yeah.
Late flag at that. But
Well, the umpire couldn't get the flag out of his pocket. He was reaching for it, trying to pull it out, but he couldn't get it out.
good pursuit by Sean Bello, denying the inside move that time by number 21 Sumter. Late hit out of bounds is the call. Tack on 15 yards after the hit out of
Sumter carried
bounds.
that ball with a nice block by fullback
This will be
Andy
some
Complete.
nice field position upcoming for the Raiders as they try to get back into the ball game. The clock stopped with 3:23 to go before halftime.
Yeah, I think this is about the best field position they've had all game.
And you're right about that. This will be inside the 35. They'll mark it down close to the 33. After the major mark off of 15 yards for the late hit out of bounds. We're all human. The official trying to get the flag out of the pocket. Had a little bit of opening game jitters maybe. Who knows?
He was
Couldn't
trying-
grab that hanky.
He was definitely trying to get it.
Well, he had the right idea and had the right call.
Red Raider first down.
Completes the up man, Sumter back. Brown split out left. Long count by number 2 Rizzo. Motion by Brown, they'll hand it to Sumter. Sumter drags it inside
Cuddy,
the
Sumter on the
30, down to about the 28. He'll have about 5 in the carry to be a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, he was brought down by Jamal Garrison as well as 28, Junior
Sumter
Mark.
gained about 6 yards on that play. Second down and 4.
That was a
Couple-
good defensive stop by Brockton.
Yeah, a couple good tackles by Junior Mark, number 28. Mentioned Jamal Garrison. He's a good two-way football player for the Boxers. You'll see him a lot this year, number 85. He'll catch his share of balls as well. 2nd and 5. Rizzo looks back towards his backfield. Drops back, short drop, looking for Brown. Couple jostlings
Rizzo's
over there,
pass
but
intended for Brown is incomplete.
no interference ruled by the official. I think rightly so. Both men going for the ball.
Yeah.
Incomplete.
Yes, and Junior Mark did turn around and was looking towards the ball,
Which is
which
Which
you have
the
to do
officials
to
saw. Right.
to prevent a flag being thrown.
right. But
We
the
have a third
dangerous
down for the
fast
Red
number
Raiders.
1, Clinton Brown, the intended receiver, on a short
At
drop
the
by
Brockton
Rizzo.
29.
So we'll have a 3rd down and 5 situation. Obvious 2-down territory from the 29-yard line. 2 cracks at it to try to pick up the 5 yards for the Raiders. This is a real big possession for them. First ball game of the year in front of their home fans, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Fumble here.
Fumble on the play.
Rizzo gets it back, but wastes it down. It will be a
John
4th down
Rizzo
situation. May have picked up a yard. It's going to be a 4th and about 4. Another fumble.
Yes.
That'll
Yes,
just
and-
kill you.
And Rizzo was fortunate to foul on the ball because he was surrounded by white shirts. 73, 74,
Timeout, Barnstable. Full timeout.
as
Good.
well as 28, I believe.
Yeah, Junior Mark again right there. And a good timeout called right here by Barnstable. A key play, a big 4th down play, needless to say. So keep possession, keep play on that drive. 2:25 to go at the timeout call
Ladies and
by the
gentlemen,
Barnstable Red
quarterback
Raiders.
will invite you to join them at their Tuesday evening
Good crowd on
meeting
hand
each
for the
week at
opening game here for the Red
in the high
Raiders.
school in room
Of course, as Miles
1408.
mentioned too, they came out of a
The
Super
head
Bowl
coach shows the prior
performance
week's
last
game
year.
film starting at 6:30.
A lot of people over on the right side. Half the island is here, I think. Half the peninsula.
Are available and 2 senior
It's the best ticket in town, I'll tell you, Brian.
Yes,
week.
yes.
And a short quarterback club
And it's
meeting
nice to see a
follows.
nice contingency from
The
Brockton
meetings are
showed up.
open
A lot of
to
people from
all,
Brockton
and we
making the
encourage
trip
you to
down
be
as
an
well.
active
That
quarterback
may be
club member.
Barnstable
Hope to see
people
you next
just
Tuesday
looking
evening.
for a seat.
Well, the interesting thing, of course, you see a lot of red and white, and of course, both teams have red and white.
Yes.
And even the coaches from the Barnstable Red Raiders have the red, white, and black. So you could be easily fooled as to whom is whom, especially with the B.
Yes. Yes. Because it's both BHS.
That's it. So all kinds of stuff. Plus,
they
we
have a
still
lot
have
in
the mist
common.
going on. So here's a 4th down situation after the Barnstable timeout. Let's see what's called. Only man back is Caplice. In the slot, we have number 21, Sumter. Man of motion's Brown. They fake to Brown. Here's a rush. Getting away and spinning. Rizzo cannot get away from Jamar Garrison.
John Rizzo
And that'll
throws
turn the
for
ball
loss,
over.
bringing
Great
up a
pursuit
4th
by the
down for
Boxer
Raiders.
defense once
fantastic.
again.
Fantastic pursuit. I mean, David Gurn was in on that tackle,
That was 4th down. First
as well
down,
as
Brockton.
Sean Bello.
Sean Bello was there as well.
Yes.
Also had
David Gurn.
LaFontaine was
And
there as
LaFontaine,
well.
yes.
He was there. Tell
Yeah,
you.
they stopped him. They were back there too quick for him to even have a chance to move.
An interesting play, too, because you had the very fast Clinton Brown on the move, man in motion. They faked to him. If they gave him the ball, I think he would have had it. He had a lot of running room around the right side, and he had his motors going. But instead, Brockton's pursuit shuts it down, as Brian mentioned, and Brockton will take over. Still a lot of clock to go, 2:15, and they're up 14-zip. Again, out of the eye, both teams like that formation, so popular in high school football. Kershaw, the fake, hand off to Jackson. He's got some room, 45.
Jackson
Now
on
he
the carry.
stops, looks to cut again, out to the 49.
We have a flag on the play.
We have a flag down on the play, back at the line of scrimmage, so hold everything.
Yeah, probably holding.
This is going to come back, probably. Nice run by Jackson. Would have been a 1st down, but
It definitely would have been a first
cancel
down.
it out. There's the holding call, as Brian correctly called. Brian Madden and Miles
Yeah.
Jackson joining me, Bob Sondheim, tonight from Barnstable. Second ball game of the year. Brockton 1-0 in the season. 35-8 victors last week over Springfield Central Catholic. But this will be marked off against the Boxers, nullifying a nice run by James Jackson, the senior.
On the
Now,
offense,
this
10
is
yards
like a
penalty,
deja
no
vu
first
because
down.
last week they were in pretty much the same position. The clock was running down in the half, and they were up by 14.
Wow.
And Colombo called a play for Robert Charles Whitaker out on the wing.
Brockton
Touchdown.
facing a 1st down and 20.
Didn't they score with like 6 seconds to go or something? I thought I read.
It was,
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was amazing.
that's amazing. Well, you got lightning in a bottle with number 80. You use him when you can. Right now, he's flanked out wide to the left. 2 receivers wide left. They split the backfield this time behind the senior quarterback. Hand it off. And getting by the initial tacklers is Jackson. He's got a head of steam. 45. Bumps into his own man. Garrison gets away down to the 40 inside to about the
Jackson
36-yard
driven
line
out of bounds
of
by Clint
Barnstable,
Brown.
knocked out of bounds. Great run this time. No hankies on the field.
No hankies on the field. Fantastic run. And I think he would have been able to get more yards if Garrison didn't get in his way.
Yep, just banged into Garrison. And Barnstable can tip their caps a little bit to Garrison. Otherwise, it could have gone all the way. Who knows? Jackson
Oh,
with a head of steam.
I think Garrison's going to hear about that from from the coach when he gets onto the sideline.
He just might. He might want to duck low when that film is played back. But right now, we have a first down situation from about the 36-yard line. Handoff, give it to the up man this time. And Hill, Duncan, Calvin Duncan plunges ahead. A few yards, and they'll call a timeout. Brockton will conserve the time, 59 seconds to go. They still have a couple stoppages. I believe 2 more timeouts, maybe 1. They may have burned both of the 20s. So we have timeout on the field. Full timeout called by Brockton, 59 seconds to go. And they're in striking distance again, maybe for another score with 6 seconds to go. Who knows?
I'd say they are. Because Colombo's not gonna sit back and try and eat up the clock and go into. He's not satisfied to go in to the half with a 14-point lead.
Well, Armin Colombo, 41 years at the helm of the Brockton Boxers, 298 victories, and of course getting the 298th last week. And he's in position to become the all-time leading coach as far as wins are concerned, and he's just around the corner from that. Right now trying to set his sights on 300, which is quite a milestone for any high school coach.
Definitely.
And right now we're talking about Armin Colombo, the head mentor for the Brockton Boxers, and what a tremendous career he's had. Of course, Peter Colombo with him, an outstanding career as a player as well. He's got an outstanding staff over there in the red and black across the field. After the timeout, we're looking at a second down situation. Call it second and maybe a long 6 to go for the Boxer first down. Just under a minute to go. We'll go out of the eye this time. 2 men flank wide left. Kershaw, we have motion over there. Definite motion. This will be on the Brockton Boxers. So push it back 5 yards.
Yeah, there was motion on Patrick Emmanuel.
Yep, number 88 will be guilty of that one. No question about it. So move it back 5 yards. The down remains the same. Second and 11 or 12 after the mark-off. And we've had our share of penalties so far in this game.
Yes.
Mistakes aplenty.
And it looked like Brockton was content to try and 103. It was at 59.
Well, we gained 4 seconds in that exchange.
We did.
That's all right. When the timeout was called, it was 59 seconds. Well, that's as strange as the dew in the field, I guess.
Hey, poltergeist, I'm telling you.
You're right. You had it nailed. Okay.
But it looked like Brockton was content to try and use the running game to get downfield. But I think now with 3rd and 12.
It's going to be second down.
Second and 12, they'll be airing it out.
Oh, I think they will. I'll tell you, whenever number 80 is on the field, and don't forget Garrison can catch as well, and Emmanuel. So you've got some good receivers out there. Plus, you can also just dunk it off to guys like Jackson out of the backfield, and you know how dangerous he is. So Brockton with a lot of weapons here on a second down and long situation. And 1:03 on the clock, strangely enough. And just getting away from the rush. Here's the pitch to Jackson. Not much running room right there as he brings it down to about the 35-yard line, where he's met by a host of Red Raider tacklers. And it will be a 3rd down situation after a pickup of about 3 or 4 by Jackson.
Driven out of bounds by Waskowitz.
Clock runs, and now it's stopped.
And Eric Archibald.
And the to-go yards never changed. It never changed from 7.
Well, I know that. Somebody's sleeping on the scoreboard, that's true. But full timeout by Brockton.
That's Brockton's final timeout.
That is their final timeout. So they were charged 2 timeouts on the 20 and then the full before.
Yes.
Brockton cannot stop the clock. Now you have to think about going upstairs in the air, especially in a passing situation. 3rd down, 2 plays to pick it up, and undoubtedly I'm sure they'll probably go on a 4th down if they are not successful on 3rd.
And we're not even sure what the correct yardage is, because it says it's on the 33 and 7 yards to go.
Well,
when actually they're on the.
It's about 8 yards to go right here.
35.
Just taking a look at the sticks across the way.
Yeah.
It's about a 3rd and 8, so certainly makeable in 2 down territory.
Don't forget to buy your quarterback
scoreless here in the second
card.
quarter after Brockton jumped ahead 14-0.
And will save you
and of course the Red Raiders, to their credit, playing a much tougher brand of defense, stymieing the Boxers after it looked like the Boxers were going to run away with this
Cards
one.
are also available
Only
at the
14-0, so this one not out of reach by any
Post.
means. The Boxers would like to add that 3rd touchdown before they head in for intermission.
Brockton 3rd down.
It'd be a nice 21-point cushion.
I wouldn't argue with that. Third down situation here from the 35-yard line. Split the backfield. Kershaw takes a look. He's got Emmanuel wide right. He's got Whitaker up top in the left. Brown on him. Brown giving way. And it's one-on-one coverage. Whitaker there. Out jumps the man. Tackle by Brown. And he's got the touchdown. He's got the touchdown. Had to wait for the official ruling. And I'll tell you, this man Whitaker is just burning this place alive.
Touchdown.
Yo,
Kershaw.
He's a fantastic athlete in all aspects of every game I've seen him play.
Well, Brown slipped down. I'll tell you, to his credit, Brown must have known it was going to Whitaker because he kind of gave way and got soft immediately, backing up about 2 or 3 steps as the ball was snapped. But it was one-on-one coverage, good pass by Kershaw, but a little bit short. And back comes Whitaker, out jumps the receiver, the defender, and then falls into the end zone. We had to wait before we called it a touchdown because the official had to give us that signal. So Brockton has indeed upped their margin to 20-0. And here's Ampuja for the PAT. Whitaker with all 3 scores. Ampuja's kick is up, and it's perfect.
And the kick is good.
21-zip Brockton with 36 seconds to go. And just like that, Whitaker on the receiving end of another touchdown pass. Kershaw to Whitaker, and Ampuja adds the extra point.
Like I said, deja vu.
You know, we only missed by 30 seconds.
Just by 30 seconds.
What's that poltergeist thing? I think there's
man.
something to this. There's something to it.
But he's a weapon that is dangerous at all times of the game.
He's a weapon that every coach would like to have. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
He can do so many things. 1 kickoff return, 2 touchdown catches. To go with 2 touchdown receptions last week. Boy, I tell you, he's off and winging. And so are the Brockton Boxers. 21-0 so far, just before halftime. Glad you could be with us. From Barnstable, where the Red Raiders' first game of the year, and they're taking on a very determined Brockton bunch who 2 years ago went back home on a long bus ride. But so far, it looks a little more promising tonight.
Yes, yes. There'll be a lot of yipping and cheering on that ride home.
I think so. Providing they've cleared up that overturned sand truck on Route 3.
Yeah.
Hope we all get home tonight. Boy, we had our share of delays coming down here.
Well, Barnstable can consider itself lucky to at least be close to home. Springfield had to take that long ride home.
There's nothing worse than a long ride home. I know that.
21, Scotty
Having
Sumter,
participated, there's
Clint
nothing
Brown.
worse than that. And boy, halftime, it looks like half the island is going to be out here. Peninsula is going to be out here. Here's the kickoff. This will go to Brown. Brown will field this one back inside his 5. 10, 15, 20. He slips down, and apparently the knee did not go down. Now he is down, just at about the 20-yard line. So a good pursuit by the Boxers, and a nice run back by Clinton Brown, his first of the game.
Yes.
28 seconds on the clock, and we'll see what the Red Raiders choose to do, now trailing by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, there was a nice little run by Clinton. I thought that Ampuja was going to get another touchback.
Red Raider first
a nice
down
kick.
at their own 17-yard line.
Yeah, they mark it down at the 17. Don't look for anything too daring right here. Rizzo into the ball game at quarterback. You always have to keep an eye whether it's number 2 or number 7. But he's back at the helm. This could be just a straight-ahead run to Sumter or maybe around the end. He'll roll it out. Tries to step in. Oh, he took
Rizzo
a hit.
carries.
A wicked hit. Nice delivery that time. Jean Paul, I should
Jean
say.
Paul.
I want to make him a French Buccaneer.
That was number
Jean
73.
Paul. Great. He spells it Jean. That's why I'm saying it that way. There's a method to my madness.
Yes.
But
But that was a nice hit by
he rocked him.
Mr. Paul.
3 seconds, 2 seconds. That's going to do it here for the first half of play.
And that brings us
And
to
the
close
Brockton
of the
Boxers
first
under
half.
Armin Colombo have to be very
Our
happy.
score, Brockton,
Offensively and
21,
defensively,
Red
they
Raiders
just
0.
really controlled things right here. And Brian, your comments.
All I got to say is Charles Whitaker. At the beginning, 53-yard TD pass. Charles Whitaker, 50-yard TD return. Charles Whitaker, 35 TD reception.
That says it all, huh?
3 touchdowns, all by Mr. Whitaker. Has had a great first half, and we'll see what happens in the second half.
Brian Miles, myself, Bob Sondheim, we'll be back with Whitaker and the rest of the Boxers. They're up 21-0 here at halftime. We'll step aside for a break and hope you can join us for the second half of tonight's ball game. We'll be back.
Shoo-ah.
Shoo-shoo-wada, baby.
Shoo-ah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shoo-be-doo-wah.
And welcome back to the second half of tonight's Brockton football game against the Barnstable Red Raiders from Cape Cod. Bob Sondheim along with Brian Madden and Miles Jackson joining me now in quarter number 3. Miles, I know we have some halftime stats to bring the fans up to date on. Maybe you could fill that in.
So right, Bob, what we have here is James Jackson's carried a good game. He has 9 carries for 84 yards rushing.
Wow.
And Robert Whitaker, who's been the story of the game, has 2 receptions for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also, he's had a 50-yard punt return for a touchdown. As you know, Robert Whitaker does have blazing speed.
Boy, Robert Whitaker's show here on Cape Cod tonight, as Brian and I were talking. But I'll tell you, let's not overlook the 9 carries for 84 yards for James Jackson. He had 2 touchdowns in the victory against Springfield last week. And I was saying to Brian off the air, I still think he's going to break one before the night is out. He's just running with abandon and has some good upfield blocking. That offensive line, like the defensive line, doing a great job for Brockton.
So true about James Jackson. He is a breakaway threat, and he's also a punishing type of back. I'm sure in the second half, he's going to start wearing down, if not already, these Barnstable Raiders.
Well, Brockton kicked off to start our football game, so Acker will kick off for the Red Raiders to start the second half, and Brockton will get set to receive the football. And, of course, back there is the ever-dangerous one, number 80, Whitaker, along with number 23, Brandon Hill, the deep men for the Brockton Boxers. 22 more minutes of football is 21-0 in favor of the Boxers, picking up a big second-quarter touchdown just before intermission. Short kick, and this one will be picked up by an up man. It's Garrison, actually, number 85, not a bad man. Big guy with the football. He brings it out close to the 40-yard line. Good hands by Garrison. He advances the ball about 5 yards. And first and 10 for the Boxers from their own 40-yard line. Excellent field position.
Yeah, Garrison, the senior, 6'3", 215-pound senior, who has sure hands for a big guy.
Well, we have the moon setting over there, or moon rising, I should say. We've had a little bit of everything here. I just like to talk about the weather. It's that kind of year. So Kershaw goes over, has a word with the coaching staff, and Armin Colombo in particular. Armin looking for victory number 299 in this illustrious career of his. Out to the 40-yard line, sorry.
Be very interesting to see how the both lines on each side come out in the second half.
You made a point I want you to go into in a few minutes after this play. Give it to the up man.
Kershaw handoff.
And number 32, Calvin Duncan, for a gain of about 5 yards in the play. Nice pick up by the up man, number 32, Duncan, with that wrap around his left foot. But you were talking about the line play in the second quarter and about how much better it was for the Red Raiders over their performance in the initial quarter.
Yeah, the Red Raiders really started strong in that second quarter and actually was holding Brockton for a number of plays. And unfortunately for them, that pass play to Whitaker kind of broke that open late in the second quarter. But you could tell that the Red Raiders adjusted well on their defensive line and offensive line in that second quarter.
That's a good point. Talk about a key turning point in this game in case you just joined us after this play. Kershaw, and there's a fumble. And this is going to be picked up and run back. This is a live football. Waskowitz goes down at about the 5-yard line, picking up a loose ball on the handoff between Rizzo and it looked like Duncan. And there's a big turnover right here. Talking about key plays, this could be a very key play to get the Red Raiders right back into this football game.
Yes, indeed, Bob. That was a strange play. Brockton's offense basically froze. Looked like they froze there for a second, and it allowed the defender to pick the ball up and run for a touchdown, or do a run almost for a touchdown.
I thought they had the wrong number. It was Paul Colburn, number 43, who gets credit for the fumble recovery and advancing the ball all the way down. They're going to mark that ball at about the 6-yard line, I believe. Yep, just at about the 6-yard line. First and goal from that point. This is really a must score in this game for the Red Raiders, no question about it.
So true.
So first down and 6. Look for number 21 to get his hands on the ball, Sadie Sumter. And he does. Left side, steps inside the 5. He's met up.
Hands off to Sumter.
That was a nice play by Garrison, number 85.
85 Garrison. And right there is Gurn as well. I'll tell you, very impressive, that kid. David Gurn, 5'11", 195 pounds. And I tell you, he has played a whale of a football game from the linebacker slot. Garrison, as you mentioned, though, the primary hit. And maybe a gain of 1. I guess they'll stack it up at about the 5-yard line. Second and goal after pickup of 1 on the carry by Sadie Sumter. Rizzo again at quarterback. Pitch to Sumter this time, looking for the block by Caplice, but look at number 80, Whitaker, come in and shut down the play. He had an outstanding defensive effort in a key juncture in the game last week against Springfield. Here's another outstanding defensive play by the two-way player.
Let's give credit to number 45, Tyrone Pruitt, who made that play and made the running back go to the outside and allowed number 80 to make the play.
That's a good point. And did you see the pursuit by the whole Brockton team flooding that zone as they tried to rely on one block by the up man, Caplice, number 42, but Sadie Sumter was simply knocked off his feet by a whole host of tacklers wearing the white for the Brockton Boxers.
Well, I tell you, Brockton Boxers really rose to the occasion so far on this goal line stance.
They have indeed. No gain. Actually, I'm sorry, it was at the 11. It's the 11-yard line now, back there. The sticks are down. Handoff this time goes to the up man, Caplice. One of the few carries for him, his second carry of the ball game. This will bring up a 4th down situation. And Coach DeMonch of the Red Raiders has got to go in this one. You're not thinking field goal. You're certainly not punting. So it's 4th down. You're going all the way, trailing by 3 touchdowns.
No, you definitely have to capitalize at this moment when you have the ball that far into the red zone.
Now, wouldn't this be a sweet stand-up right here defensively for the Brockton Boxer defense, which has played an outstanding game. Timeout is going to be called right here. The referee will tell us.
Barnstable timeout. 20-second timeout.
20-second timeout. 4 more stoppages for the guys in red. We'll keep that in mind as time goes on. And a big timeout call as quarterback comes over to have a word with head coach DeMonch.
Yeah, head coach DeMonch, he has a tough decision here. I believe he'll choose to go up the middle than to go to the outside because they do have, Brockton has a lot of speed.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that because most teams would take it outside and try to stretch it out. You can't do that with the Boxers with the speed that they have on the field. Let's see what's called. They've got Brown in the backfield. Watch number 1 here. He'll streak into the end zone. The pass is off his hands. That was a catchable ball by Clinton Brown. It could have been caught. Goes off his hands, and the ball will go over.
That was a beautiful play fake by the quarterback for Barnstable. Unfortunately, like you said, it went right off the fingertips of the receiver.
And now let's wait and see. Do we have a flag? Legal procedure against the offense will be declined. First down by the Boxers. Great defensive stand by Brockton. And, you know, you have to watch. We led this ball game off talking about the weapons for this Red Raiders squad. You have to look at Clinton Brown, number 1, and Sadie Sumter, number 21. And so far, Brockton's been able to shut them down. Although at halftime, Sadie Sumter is averaging something like, he has 63 yards in 13 carries, I believe.
That's
13
about
carries
right,
for 63 yards. So he's getting it done, but a couple of those were pretty good-sized runs. Otherwise, Brockton has held him equal to the task. So after the shutdown, Brockton will take the ball over at about their own 11-yard line. Handoff. Jackson winding his way out for good yardage, and I think a first down on the play.
Now, Bob, this will be a key possession for Brockton as well as Barnstable defense because that was a big letdown. I'm sure some of the air was left deflated out of that balloon of Barnstable's not scoring. So they really need to hold here sometime during this possession of Brockton's in order for them to stay in this ball game.
Well, psychologically, you're absolutely right. It is a letdown. Now, the ball was back at the 5-yard line. I thought the PA man had it wrong. And so Brockton, with the nice first down run by Jackson, has it out to about the 16. Give it to Duncan, the up man. Short yardage, maybe 1 yard at best for number 32. Again, Brockton trying to keep the defense honest. Gives the ball to Calvin Duncan, number 32. And Calvin has some pretty good size in there, too. 5'10", 220-pounder. And, of course, in his senior season, he'll graduate next summer.
Yeah, Calvin's a big guy. It looks like he put on a few pounds over the summer. But he still has that quick speed. So he has the speed, and plus he's a little bit more punishing.
Well, I was going to say, he's more the bruiser up the middle type. And, of course, you got the great scat-back run who can wind his way in the likes of James Jackson, who I've watched mature over his 3 years of play. Second down situation, short drop. Kershaw goes outside.
Kershaw's pass is complete.
And there's Whitaker, I believe. Yes, it is.
And he's down.
And Whitaker is not getting up. And he's reaching his
Waskowitz
back.
Brown in the tackle.
Oh, boy.
That was a nice button hook, quick slant in
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
by
going to announce our 50-50
Robert
raffle
Whitaker.
winner at this time.
Let's hope he's okay.
Oh, certainly.
The
He's
winning
reaching
prize
for his
will be
back.
$231.
The pass
Take
is
out your
complete. He
tickets.
had 2 or 3 Red Raiders just jump right on
winning
top
number.
of him. Hands on his
4,
hips is Armin
9,
Colombo.
3,
One of his
4,
main
6,
heroes in
8,
the first
9.
2 games of the season, laying face down, has not moved.
493-4689. If you have the winning ticket, please report to the press box.
Trainer is out, taking a look at the fallen Whitaker. We believe it's Whitaker. Looks like number 80 made the catch. And all of a sudden, the party has stopped here at Barnstable as they tend to Whitaker on the field. 6:46 to go, third quarter. Now he's up. Starting to get up. And it is Whitaker.
He
They've
might
gotten a
have
back pointer.
injured his back. Yeah.
It could have been. He could have gotten a helmet right in the small of the back, that kind of thing. He'll try and walk it off at this point.
Yeah,
Good to see him walking off in his own power, though.
A lot of times when you run a pass play like a button hook, the defender comes up behind you, and most likely will hit you from behind on a button hook pattern.
As I mentioned, he had 2 or 3 ball players hit him to make sure he wasn't going to squirm away this time for a touchdown. It's a little short of the first down. Third down situation, call a third and a short 3 for Brockton first down. Just inside their own 25-yard line. Hand the ball off. First down here.
Kershaw hands off
Nope.
to Brown.
Sorry.
James
It's Jackson, and let's see where they mark it down. I went for the fake that time, and I'll tell you, Calvin Duncan just finished me off on that one. I was watching Duncan. I thought for sure he had the ball, and it's just still a first down for Jackson. So I had the right call, but I had the wrong player. So I'm 50% right.
That was a good tackle by the Barnstable defender. If he didn't tackle him on that play,
He had a lot of running.
He had a lot of running.
Absolutely right. About a first down picked up by Jackson. I tell you, Brockton has cashed in a lot of key junctures in this football game. And there's another one. So after the third down and 3 first down pickup, working out of the eye, senior quarterback Kershaw has had a nice couple games to start his senior season. Calls the signals, hands the ball off to Jackson. Left side's got some room. He's tripped up, but otherwise he could have gone. And I tell you, that guy again over there.
We have a winner in the raffle.
Waskowitz.
It was Mr. Thompson, a science teacher from Brockton High School.
Oh, Mr. Thompson just won the raffle. And science teacher Brockton High, he's greeted with a whole bunch of raspberries down here by the kind folks at Cape Cod. So what do you think of that?
Just a little note, Stephen Harris, 5'10", 165-pound senior, has taken Robert Whitaker's place in the wide receiver spot.
That's a good point, thank you. Whitaker, we hope, will be back in the ball game, injuring his back a few moments ago. Couple tough yards. I think the whistle, no, they're going to mark the ball down.
Good call by the referee.
I think so, too. He was clearly down on the play. The ball was coughed up. But the referee right on top of the play called the play dead with one of his other officials.
We've got 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in this third quarter.
And when you have a good ground attack, of course, you can work on the clock ahead by 3 touchdowns after the failed effort on offense, after the Colburn fumble recovery and run inside the Brockton 10. Brockton's defense stiffened, turned the ball over on downs, and back they come, working on the clock, up by 3 touchdowns. Here's the third down play, 3rd and short, 3rd and a little more than 1. Let's see if Jackson gets the call here. They'll give it to the up man, Duncan. I don't think he has it.
He was
It's
tripped up by number
close.
44.
That was Waskowitz on the stop.
Waskowitz again. He's played a great game, this number 44. It's going to be 4th down play. Not even a measurement, no chance of that. It's almost no gain of the play. So let's see what they call. Let's see if number 10 has entered the ball game. And of course, Archie Johnson, he has. So looks like Brockton will kick the ball away.
And Archie Johnson's been punting the ball very well this evening.
He's kicked 2 real monster kicks, as Brian mentioned before. Hang time so important. Now he comes up under center. And let's see if he runs the play now. He drops back. And we have all kinds of trouble. I think this is going to be a procedure
Flag
call.
on the play.
Did he draw anybody off, or was it a procedure call? The official will tell us. If it's against the Red Raiders, it would be a 1st down, but they're all pointing towards Brockton.
That's a hard one to call. I wouldn't want to be a referee right now. You can see they're really having
like
a
a fire
conference there.
drill, huh?
Yeah. That really fooled the Barnstable special teams there.
Well, it did. Let's see what the call is.
Dead ball foul. False start.
Yeah, it was procedure as we thought. It's on the offense, mark it back 5 yards. Little chicanery right there. Now they'll bring in the punting team to go along with number 10, and Archie Johnston will kick it away. Back deep
5-yard
inside their own
penalty is
territory,
assessed.
number 21, Sadie Sumter, and number 1, Clinton Brown, in twin coverage for the Red Raiders. I don't think we'll see any fun and games on this one. Line of scrimmage, about the 30-yard line. Let's see if Archie can boom this one away. Nice driving kick. Comes down at about the 35. Brown returns this one. Gets a nice block inside, and finally stepping in to make the tackle in there
That was Clinton
for
Brown
the
on the
Brockton
carry back.
Boxers is number 45, and that is Tyrone
The
Pruitt.
initial hit. Number 45, Tyrone
Kick in the
Pruitt.
play about
for the
35
Boxers.
yards
Red Raider
on that one.
first
Didn't
down.
quite get the hang time, allowing Brown the return. He gets about 7 or 8 yards on the return out to the 43-yard line, where the offense will try to
Brown
crease the
played the rest of
scoreboard
the
before this big crowd.
43-yard line.
Opening game of the season for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, Brockton High's special teams has done a very good job in containing these punt returners for Barnstable.
Well, as you point out, and you and Brian have both mentioned, speed
Rizzo
does
at
kill.
quarterback.
And the Brockton Boxers have the luxury of having it both offensively and defensively. That makes them terribly exciting. Here's a nice run by Sumter. And we have a flag being
Sumter
thrown
for
into
a
the pile.
first down, a flag on the field.
Let's see what the call is going to be. Could there be a face mask involved? I don't think so, but let's see. Now they're pointing towards the Brockton Boxers.
I see Whitaker's back in the game on defense. Unfortunately,
Tack on the end of the run.
That's what it was. Incidental 5-yard mark off for face mask. So apparently somebody reached in and actually got a hold of the cage of number 21, Sadie Sumter. So the ball goes a little bit deeper into Brockton territory at the 40-yard line. And the Red Raiders have come close, but they just haven't cashed in
Red
so
Raider
far.
First down. Ball is placed just inside the Brockton.
So let's see if the
40-yard
Brockton
line.
Boxer defense can rise to the occasion once more. LaSalle split wide, but it goes back to Sumter. No place to go here. Flag on the play, and they're going to track him down. I'll tell you, it's amazing, the Brockton Boxer speed.
Sean Bellow
that was
made the
Sean
tackle for
Bellow,
Brockton.
linebacker,
Flag
senior,
Well, they pronounce it
175.
Bello, Sean Bello. They spelled it a little different, B-E-L-L-A-O, but he pronounces it Bello. But I tell you, Sean's had a nice game.
Sean's got some speed, too.
Oh, he just tracked him down. We have a holding call to really make matters a little bit tougher for the Barnstable team. This will be denied, I'm quite sure. Turned down. They'll refuse this. They'll take the play. Why not? They had Sadie Sumter dead to rights in that one after Bello and his mates just really just tracked them down.
Second down.
Yeah, we've got 1 minute and 42 seconds left in the third quarter, and right now time is becoming a big factor actually an opponent for Barnstable as well as Brockton
that's
High.
right. That's the 12th man on the
Ball
field
is
right
on
now.
the Brockton 48-yard line.
Still down by
Red
21
Raiders
points.
facing a second down
Back
and
to the
20.
48-yard line. Second down and about 23 to go as Brockton refuses the penalty for holding. They take the play instead. So Rizzo again looks back at Sadi Sumter, wondering how we can get in the end zone. He rolls right, still rolling, now throws the ball, got
Rizzo's
Brown,
pass is complete.
complete at about the 35-yard
Brown,
line. And he's ridden out of bounds at that point. Nice gain on the play
gain
of
of
about
14 yards.
about 14 yards on the play. It'll still be a third down situation, but it's going to be third and about 6.
That was a nice rollout by Rizzo. He actually didn't have a lot of pressure on him, so he had time to actually set on the run and throw that football and make a nice pass out there.
As we said all along, Paul DeMonch, to his credit, really doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of offensive punch. There's number 1, Brown. He's going to split out wide left.
Third down
Brown and
6.
Sumter and the quarterback Rizzo, and that's about it. That time Brown got away. There's a handoff inside. Nothing doing here. It's going to bring up a fourth down play, and the Brockton defense stays honest and just shuts down the run, bring up the fourth down.
I'm kind of surprised at that play right there,
Strange
Bob.
call.
Colburn
With
carries for the Red Raiders.
about 6 yards, 7 yards to go, they went up the middle with that. I'm
Gain of about
kind of
1,
surprised.
fourth down and
Not only that, it
5.
keeps the clock rolling, too, and we're
Exactly.
at 50 seconds and rolling. And, of course, as you mentioned before, the clock is the ally of the guys across the field, the Brockton Boxers, as they're up 21-0 here. All 3 touchdowns scored by Robert Charles Whitaker, 2 on the receiving end of Kershaw touchdowns, and 1 a 50-yard punt return that was a thing of beauty.
Again, it's nice to see Robert Whitaker out there playing safety.
That's good. Yep, he is back in the game. Good point. Fourth down and 5. Rolling left this time. The pass
Rizzo's
thrown
pass
into the ground,
called
intended for
incomplete.
number 1, Clinton Brown. Good coverage, trying to hit the seam
Brockton
of the
takes
zone.
over on downs.
Brockton again shuts him down on a fourth down play. And again, the Boxers will take over on downs. Their defense rising to the occasion.
Yes, that was a short pass by the quarterback. Unfortunately, there was a lot of pressure on him at that moment, and he didn't have a lot of time to do anything compared to the last time. He made a nice pass out there in the flat on the other
Also
end.
a little tougher rolling left if you're a right-hander
That's
than
right.
rolling right. And really kind of throwing off balance that time, that ball into the ground. Glad you could be with us here for Brockton Boxer football. 21 seconds to go in the third quarter, and it is 21-0 in favor of the Boxers.
35-yard line.
Brian Madden, Miles Jackson, myself, Bob Sondheim, happy to be with you from Cape Cod. Kershaw,
back
straight
to
drop.
pass.
Now he moves out of the pocket. Flip. Oh, there's a little chicanery here. Ball loose. This play's going absolutely nowhere.
Brockton dropped for a loss.
Loss on the play. The ball finally ending up with James Jackson, but he's shut down for a loss on the play. Good defense by the Red Raiders. Not fooled on that play.
Yeah, good pursuit by the Red Raiders, definitely on that defensive play there.
And right now, we've reached the end of the third quarter of play. And 21-0 your
That's the
score.
end of the third quarter.
And Brian, we'll welcome you back here as we're shifting things around, sharing 2 microphones and three voices. So bear with us, folks. We're trying to give you a little bit of commentary from everyone.
Yes. Good
So,
to be back.
well,
It's been an entertaining third quarter, even though there's been no change in the score. Both teams have made some adjustments. The Raiders have definitely made some adjustments and stopped Brockton's momentum.
well, the one thing I have to say, in fact, I started saying this to Miles. I never got to the point. Talking about key plays in the football game, you have to go back to the second quarter. And that's when things really turned around. Brockton was up 14-0 really for an eternity. And having a first down play from the 29-yard line of Brockton, unable to cash in, were the Red Raiders.
Yes.
Back came the Brockton Boxers, and, of course, second touchdown reception by Whitaker from Kershaw. That
Yes.
turned the game around. Instead of being maybe 14-7 at halftime, it became 21-0. And that really turned things around, a key juncture.
And that was a great play by the young man, Pat Coburn, who
Good fumble
got
recovery.
that fumble recovery
Yep.
and brought it all the way down to the 5. And I know the Raiders really feel they missed an opportunity to be on the 5-yard line and not being able to get it in to score.
Well, and you really have to credit the Brockton defense. You know, it's so easy to talk about the offense, but so far in this whole season, they've given up only 8 points against two pretty good opponents. So here we go, starting the final 11 minutes here. Second down and long, about 13-14 to go after the loss. Little handoff here, and again, the Red Raiders just stacking it up. No place for Jackson to go.
Carries.
They've really done a nice job on James Jackson so far here in the second half. The Red Raiders have not thrown in the towel defensively.
No, they've definitely stepped it up, and they're trying to do what they can to try and keep the Boxers from scoring any more and making the deficit unreachable. Not that 21 points with only 10 minutes and 32 seconds left in the game is really reachable, but they're trying to keep it at least within reason.
Well, and they are too. You really have to take your hat off to Justin Waskowitz, number 44, one of the linebackers. He's had an outstanding ball game. One of the shining lights for the guys in red tonight against the tough Brockton team. Handoff delay this time. No place for Jackson to go again. And that pesky defense is right there. A whole host of tacklers in there for the guys in red and white. Colburn down the bottom of the pile, who you just talked about, with the fumble recovery. He and his mates shut down the Brockton Boxers. It'll be punt time again for Archie Johnson for his fourth kick of the night.
And Archie's been doing a tremendous job kicking the ball. He's definitely put them in and put them back so they didn't have great field position, which has really helped the Brockton defense as far as keeping them from getting too close to
well,
score.
Field position so much the name of the game. Johnson back lined up at his 20. He'll kick, and now we have a whistle. Maybe too much time. And look at the hang time he got on that baby.
Oh, what a beautiful
and
kick.
That was a NASA program special right there. That's probably in orbit around Mars.
Definitely.
But this will all come back.
Yes.
And they'll mark off 5 yards. Illegal procedure against Brockton. So Archie will push it inside his 15 and kick about his 20. Needless to say, two very familiar names by now. Number 1, Clinton Brown, and Sadi Sumter, number 21, back in coverage for the Red Raiders. Big crowd on hand here at the Cape, but they've had very little to cheer about tonight. Their team whitewashed so far through 3 quarters.
Yes, and they're still playing in the fog.
Yeah, the fog's returned.
Yes.
It dumped off a little while ago. We got a harvest moon up there, though.
Yes, that's a beautiful moon.
Yep. Now that we've covered the weather picture for you, another flag and another bomb by Archie. This one will bounce around, takes a Red Raider bounce, and comes out to about the 40. Check the marker. This one could be against Brockton again. Archie's not going anywhere.
You know, if the Brockton defense doesn't stop, or offense doesn't stop.
I know what you're trying to say. The officials might. Right?
If the special teams doesn't get themselves together, they're going to give the Raiders that field goal position that they want.
Well, they had the field position last time at the 5. No, and now I think this one's going the other way. Armin Colombo saying turn it down. Offside was the call against the Red Raiders. So just to set the record straight, that one was on the guys in red from Barnstable, not against the Boxers.
Okay.
They'll take the play, and Archie's kick ends up at the 40-yard line. Not a bad kick, no return. Had a little bit of a Barnstable bounce to it.
Barnstable first down at their own 40-yard line.
This field in excellent condition. I was hearing Paul DeMonch, the head coach, talk before the game to Armin Colombo about how they resodded the whole thing, and it is just a thing of beauty down there.
Yes.
In excellent shape.
Yes, it is in good shape. And unfortunately, we missed the rain.
Oh, down here, I got some coming down Route 3. You must have too.
Well, I'm talking about
but here, this is great.
Because we're out in the elements. If it was raining, we definitely would be all wet.
Well, this is great. Oh, absolutely. There's a handoff, and Sadi Sumter one more time. Nope, they changed it up on me here. Paul Colburn, number 43, for his first carry. He's got about 5 yards out to the 45.
Gain of about 4 yards, second down and 6.
Pat Colburn, let me get it right. They'll give him 4 officially, second and 6 out to the 44.
Yes, and Brockton's defense again stepping up and filling the holes.
Well, LaSalle, who has not been thrown to tonight, number 8 is a wide receiver out to the right. And here's a nice rollout Coming around for the first down is Rizzo being ridden out of bounds out at the Brockton 45 after he picks up 11 yards in the
John
play.
Rizzo carrying for a first down for
Nice
the
carry
Raiders.
by John Rizzo. Good carry into Brockton territory. They'll mark it out at the 45. First down for Barnstable.
Yeah, I like the way they use Rizzo as a sort of like a slash type quarterback. Because he's got a couple nice runs. You know, he may be their leading rusher.
Well, he is, although Sadi Sumter's had a pretty nice night himself.
Yes, Sumter has had a
Sadi
pretty
was
nice
averaging
night.
about 5 a carry at halftime. Here's another marker
Sumter with the
thrown by
carry,
the line
flag on the
judge.
field.
Short gain of about 2. We'll check the flag. And also a Red Raider very slow to get up down there. In fact, has not gotten up.
73.
Number 73. Check the flag. It's going to be against the Red Raiders, and Brockton's going to take the play.
Eric Archibald is the limping Raider. But he's toughing it out. He's staying in the game.
Waskowitz in at fullback, replacing Colburn.
Waskowitz comes in now at fullback. We talked about his exploits on defense, number 44. He's now in the backfield at the 8-minute mark to go, fourth quarter. In case you're just joining us, it's
John
been the
Hayward
Robert
coming out of the
Charles
game.
Whitaker show once again this week from Cape Cod. 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdown receptions,
Rizzo
and a
at
50-yard
quarterback,
punt return.
Packer at center. Second down and 10.
So Sadi Sumter has a new up front man in the likes of Waskowitz. He'll block for Sumter. Sumter has about 4, maybe 5
Sumter with the
yards
carry.
inside the Brockton 41, about the 40 or so. We'll see where they place it down at the 41. But of course the problem here, Brian, is that the clock marches on, and that's to the tune of Brockton's liking.
Yes.
Gain of about
Yeah, as
3
long as the
yards
Raiders
from
keep
Sumter.
using
Third
up the
down,
clock
7.
with running plays, they'll give them 3-4 yards per down.
Yeah, they don't care.
As long as they stop them from
Colbert
getting too
back
many
in at
first
fullback.
downs.
Well, you guys are going to have a good game next week. I won't be here, but Zavarian, of course, a very tough team.
Rizzo keeps the
A lot
ball.
of the scribes, boy. Rizzo finally ridden out of bounds with a handful of jersey to boot. Good pursuit by Brockton. But there's that speed of Rizzo again. Just a great job
John
by
Rizzo
him.
carries for
Yes,
a
great job.
Barnstable
And
first
speaking
down.
about Zavarian, they're here. There's a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
of Zavarian coaches here scouting the game. I met them over there at the concession stand.
Saw the
actually.
head coach over there as well.
Yes.
Carlos Catacat on the last tackle for the Brockton Boxers, just to keep you up to date. And, of course, a lot of people rating Zavarian number 1. They're just an awesome squad. And, of course, Brockton's going to have its hands full, but should be going into that game if things stay the way they are, 2-0 on the young season. First down situation, Rizzo with Clinton Brown in motion, coming left to right. Rizzo short drop, looks for Brown. Instead, actually looking for LaSalle,
Rizzo's
number 8.
pass is wide.
On a look-in pattern, the pass overthrown.
Incomplete. Second down.
And the good news there is stops the clock for the guys in red, but the bad news, 2nd and 10.
Yes, and LaSalle was wide open. Rizzo just didn't get him the ball.
Really the first time he's been thrown to tonight. So after the incomplete forward pass, Brockton will dig in. Second down situation, 10 yards to go. And just for moral comfort, if anything else, especially in front of this big crowd, the Red Raiders would like to get on the scoreboard.
Yes.
Sadi Sumter, left side,
Sumter with the ball.
inside the 30, down to about the 28.
Yeah, I think the Raiders would definitely look at that as a little moral victory.
Yeah, and that's what you shoot for, especially with your first game of the season. Hang in there, stay together as a squad,
Close to a
and let's
4-yard
get some
gain.
momentum
Third
going into
down
the next
and
ball
long
game.
6.
3rd and 6 to go.
Yes, if they did score within the last 6 minutes of the game, they definitely would. It would give them a momentum builder going into their next game.
I'll tell you, their defense has certainly stuck around in this game. They played very well, and now here's another flag. I'll tell you, that is one busy line judge we've had tonight. And he stops the play. This is probably going to go against the offense. Our referee will tell us. Procedure of the call.
Yeah, you're correct about what you just said about the defense, because outside of the 2 pass plays to Whitaker, they haven't had any offensive. Well, 2 offensive and then the special teams.
Well,
Hendrickson at quarterback.
as Miles was talking about, too, in the last quarter, Brian, and it's really true. When you have the speed of a Brockton team, You can't really go wide. It's so tough to run against him up the middle. What's left? Unless you have some tremendous guy like a Whitaker who can burn you deep. Well, speaking of deep, here's a guy that can burn you deep, but the pass is underthrown. It was intended for Brown, intercepted by Brockton. Let's get the number down there.
There's number 36,
Right.
Kareem Nelson.
Kareem Nelson, who shares the cornerback spot with Junior Mark. Kareem Nelson with the pick. And I'll tell you, just as soon as I said that, had that pass been thrown long enough by Rizzo, he had a wide open Brown who had a couple steps on Nelson. Nelson gets the interception because the pass was underthrown.
But it shows you the athletic talents of the Brockton High team as far as the defense and offense, because the touchdown that Charles Whitaker made at the end of the half, he had to come back to the ball. That ball was underthrown.
That's right.
And he came back to the ball and received the ball and then fell into the end zone. Kareem had to come back to the ball because it was he was pretty close to go ahead.
No, that's okay. It's just I was just seeing where the ball was marked down about the 5-yard line. They hand the ball to the up man Duncan, the bruiser, and he's straightened up pretty much. Under 6 minutes to go.
Stopped by the whole left side.
That's a good point you make, but also you have to take a look at, the mismatch under there, because a guy like Whitaker has a few inches certainly on Brown, but
Yes.
also his basketball ability getting up off his feet and taking the ball away in not only this game, but last week from what I understand from
Yes.
the counts of the game. Really, that's the bottom line. You come down with the ball. You go up, you come down with it. And he did.
And it's nice to see him back in the game.
Yes, it is. Hurt his back, but Whitaker we're talking about. There's a deflected ball. What do we have here? It should be an incomplete forward pass.
It should be an incomplete forward pass, yes.
Everybody jumping around down there, but they're going to call it an incomplete forward pass.
Incomplete.
I don't know what all the hubbub was. 5:15 to go, and the clock is stopped. Third down upcoming. I thought maybe somebody intercepted the ball, but I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either.
Nor did the official, thankfully. So we have a third down for the Boxers inside the 10. Actually at about the 5-yard line. So here's an interesting call, Brian. Third down play right here. 3rd and 95 for a touchdown.
Well, let's see.
Let's see if they try to go wide to Jackson.
They've got Whitaker on the wide out.
Waskowitz and Hendricks, the linebackers.
Yep, they'll go off the left side. Jackson with great
Jackson carried
balance.
the ball.
What a great
Gets a
play.
first down, yes.
Winston LaSalle on tackle along with Blackie.
How about the balance by
Brockton
Jackson?
first down.
First down as he picks it up. Where he would have been knocked down on the initial hit, would have been short of the first down. He spins away, shows great balance, taking it inside the left slot for the first down.
Yeah, he's got that very low,
Center of
of
gravity.
gravity. And he knows how to use it.
I'm used to that center of gravity, too. The more I eat, the more my center of gravity gets lower. Happens with age.
Yes.
Blackie, Brown, and LaSalle in the secondary. First down, Brockton.
Here's a first down play for Brockton after the nice conversion by Jackson. Kaplowitz tried to stunt that time, and a short gain.
That's Jackson
Maybe
on the
no
carry.
gain by Jackson. Might have a yard at best.
Yes. Yeah, there was not a whole lot of room there in the middle.
Tackle
Well,
by
Nice tackle by number
62.
62.
Yeah, they picked up the stunt of number 44, the
Mike
red dog
Cunningham
of,
on the play.
Waskowitz, I should say. Call it a second down and 10 situation. No gain in the last carry. Approaching 4 minutes to go. The Brockton Boxers pitching a shutout here on the Cape, 21-0 over Barnstable. And it's going to be a lot happier bus ride for these guys than 2 years ago when we came to do the game. But they've earned it tonight. They played a fine football game at both ends of the football.
Yes, they have.
Kershaw with a manual motion. Here comes Jackson. And they string it out
Jackson carrying
wide.
the
Might
ball.
have about 3-4 yards on the carry. We'll keep that clock moving. And, of course, Paul
Waskowitz
DeMonch in no
and
hurry to
Blackie
stop
on
the clock.
tackle.
And having said that, we have a stoppage.
Yeah, I would think the Raiders would want the clock to just
Yeah.
run out. And,
Well, they're going to call the timeout.
Timeout for Barnstable. 20-second timeout.
See, if I didn't say anything, the clock would have kept moving and we'd be out of here on the highway. But I had to open my big yapper, and, of course, he calls the timeout. 3:35 to go at the stoppage, a 20-second stoppage here. Paul DeMonch's team will bounce back. They have a lot of good talent here, and
They do have a lot of good talent.
I think they were just outgunned tonight. You Brockton Boxer fans, come on down and catch that Xaverian game next week. That'll be an outstanding ball game, and the Brockton Boxers will get into that ball game 2-0.
Playing at St. John's Prep next Saturday
Game
at
at
1:30 in
1:30
the afternoon.
on Saturday afternoon at Xaverian. So,
That'll be a big crowd there, too.
yes.
Barnstable, I think, has to go to St. John's Prep, if I heard it correctly. Well, they have a stoppage of play one more time. A little more linen on the field.
Yeah, it looked like a false start by Brockton.
Red Raiders' next
that's
home
gonna be
game
it.
is Friday, October 13th. That's homecoming against Silver Lake.
Foul.
But you are. False start it is. 5-yard mark off. Thank Mike and Lori, our crew tonight, doing a fine job bringing you the pictures tonight's game. And more than that, carrying equipment up and down stairs. I tell you, it's a thing to behold. I tell you, it makes you really earn that soft drink at halftime. It's great. We have a lot of fun.
Third down and 11.
My thanks to Miles and Brian, too, for giving you the color for tonight's game as well. Third down and 11 right here for the Brockton Boxers. Give it to Jackson, and he's going to have everybody on the Cape looking for him to get the ball, and he draws a crowd for a loss. It'll bring up a 4th down.
Jackson
And
dropped for loss.
Archie Johnson's going to enter the ball game one more time.
Doherty on the tackle, along with Reddy. And
Hard to
Cunningham.
believe that Archie Johnson will have logged in either 5 or 6 kicks before this night is out.
Yes. The Raiders' defense is definitely
they've really
done their
stepped it up.
part. They've done their part.
Give them a lot of credit. They were stung early and stung well by the Brockton Boxers in the first quarter, but they really stuck it out and played a fine football game. They didn't cash it in.
I think, playing other teams, that aren't quite the caliber of Brockton High, they'll do very well, and
they will.
They'll win a lot of games.
This is a team with a good, proud tradition, especially over the last couple of years, as Paul DeMonch has led them into the Super Bowl, and you don't just all of a sudden go flat.
Yes.
They have a nice tradition down here. It's an excellent school. And as a swimming coach at Sharon High, I know I swim against these guys at Barnstable. We go down the Cape and they come up to us, and they just do a great job. And speaking of swimming, I also want to mention one of the now alums, a guy who did a great job, who you football fans know very well, Jeff Pike, who
Yes.
you heard me mention last year as not only was an outstanding football player, giving away a lot of poundage on the line, but Jeff Pike was also the 50-yard freestyle champion in the entire state of Massachusetts and for Brockton High School. And a great young man, and congratulations to Jeff Pike and his family for a job well done. That, of course, coming after the season, so I want to make sure I don't miss that. Because Jeff Pike was an outstanding athlete for this school.
Yes, he was.
Here's Archie Johnson in once again. Brown and Sumter deep, and this one might be returnable. No, Brown lets it go. Now he takes it on one bounce. And he is going to be thrown down. Great
Brown,
defensive
brought
play
down.
right there. Now I don't have him on the program, number
By number
31.
36.
36, I do.
Kareem Nelson. Red Raider first down.
Well, my eyes are giving way here. I thought it was 31. It was Kareem Nelson, number 36, on the tackle. 3:08 to go in the ball game.
And there was another fantastic kick by Mr. Johnson.
Boy, he's doing it.
He's doing his job.
Yes, he is. And that is his job. And field position so much a part of this game.
Definitely.
And it could make a difference in a future game. You never know.
And I believe it will.
Yep. 44-yard line. Decent position. Maybe the last shot on offense for the Red Raiders to try to make their home fans happy. Rizzo, look out from behind. Gets it away. And the pass is complete. And
Rizzo's pass
off a
is complete
deflection.
to Matt LaSalle.
Matt LaSalle, number 8. Brandon Hill had more than a hand on the ball. It goes through the hands of number 23 and number 8, Matt LaSalle, with the catch. And he tried to walk the tightrope and fell out of bounds at the Brockton 30. Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. And I'll tell you, Rizzo just barely got that off in time before
Yes, he
Sean
did.
Bellio,
Well,
grabbed
Sean
it from
Bello was
behind.
he was dead to rights. He did get that away just in time. But a nice pickup, about 23 on the play. And the first catch of the night for LaSalle. Rizzo tries to step
Rizzo
inside.
keeps.
He's got about 5 yards on the play, down to the 25. Well, let's see right now if the Raiders trying to line up without a huddle. If they can get on the board, the clock moves on, 2:44 and counting. And, of course, Paul DeMonch can still stop it. He's got plenty of stoppages. Rizzo lines up one more time. Colburn is the up man. Now back in the ball game, Pat Colburn. Give it to Sumter. And Sumter squiggles ahead for about 3 or 4 yards. The initial hit in there made by LaFontaine.
Yes.
Number 74.
I think if they're going to be successful in this series here, they need to mix it up, with some more passing plays.
Well, here's a 3rd and 1 situation. Might see Sumter again.
Oh, this is definitely a running situation here.
He got 2 shots at it. Oh, he tried to get the ball to Sumter. His hand was hit, and we're going to have a recovery by Brockton. Now, credit the great play on that one. Number 45, Tyrone Pruitt, actually hit the arm on the lateral of the quarterback, Rizzo. Tyrone Pruitt makes the play. Now, did you see who recovered? Was it Bello?
I believe it was Bello.
57. We don't have replay, so I was trying to watch 2 people at once here.
As was I. But
what a play by Pruitt.
I think that play was broken up before Pruitt even got to him because Mr. Rizzo turned around to pass it off to Sumter.
Yep.
And
tried to lateral to Sumter.
It wasn't there.
Well, what happened was I think Pruitt hit his arm. I had the glasses on Pruitt, and Pruitt got the arm, forcing the lateral to go to the ground, where we believe Bello got the recovery. So another turnover ends maybe what could be the last chance for the Red Raiders to get on the board.
Duncan with the carry.
There's Duncan outside. He's got a head of steam going here. He's got a first down and a lot more. Nice pickup by Calvin Duncan. Takes him a little bit longer than Jackson to get the rotors going, but I'll tell you, he was revving it up. Picks up a nice gain on that play.
Revving it up. I tell you, he reminds me so much of the bus. Jerome Bettis.
Jerome Bettis. That's a good, very good. Not a bad comparison.
Yes,
and I'll tell you, Calvin Duncan won't mind that comparison.
No, not at all, not at all. Because like you said, when he gets a little room to run and gets that perpetual motion going.
Oh, he had it.
It's going to take 2 or 3 players, if not more, to bring him down. One tackle is not going to take down Calvin Duncan.
And rightly put, too. Out to the 43-yard line where it's a first down. Clock moving on, 1:20 to play. Here he comes again.
Duncan with the carry.
Duncan,
1, 2.
He just
Like I
punishes
said.
the defender. Oh, man.
He ran right over
I want to get
5.
that man's name. 82, Travis Gladkey. And that was, hello, Mr. Gladkey on the Cape. As number 32 met number 82. Gladkey had the presence of mind to stand his ground. But I want to tell you something. He just got bowled over. Pickup of the play about 7 yards. Call it 2nd and 3. We're under a minute with 45 seconds to go. The Brockton Boxers authoring a nice shutout if things stand for the final 45. And this might just about be it right here.
I believe so.
Handed off to Jackson, left side.
He's going for it.
He's got one man to beat, forced out of bounds. So that'll stop the clock. We'll get one more play in. Ball down to the 41. Another first down for the Brockton Boxers. Playing excellent football on both sides of the ball. Armin Colombo adding number 299. And boy, I'll tell you, if Brockton could ever knock off Xaverian, how sweet would number 300 be next week?
Oh, beautiful. That would be. That's going to be a beautiful game. Hopefully, their momentum will continue, and they will be able to get that win.
Brockton will knee it down right here for the final play. Actually, there will be no final play. Paul DeMonch quickly over. He'll shake the hand of Armin Colombo, and the Brockton Boxers post the shutout, 21-0. Actually, no scoring coming here in a second half that was really controlled by defenses on both sides of the ball. All the scoring in the game belongs to that number 80, Robert Charles Whitaker, and he now has a grand total of 5 touchdowns on the season. Credit senior quarterback Mike Kershaw with a nice ball game as well. And James Jackson, I thought, had a nice game in the backfield.
Yes,
but I'll tell you, credit the speed and the defensive team of this Brockton Boxers squad for really posting the shutout. They just did a great job.
They did an awesome job. Their defense is just too strong. In the 2 games that I've seen so far, they've just dominated. They've dominated whoever their opponent was. And if they can continue to play like this all season, looks like Brockton will have another Super Bowl.
Well, I tell you, we'll be there for it, believe me. For Brian Madden and Miles Jackson, myself, Bob Sondheim, thank you to Mike and Lori up here for doing yeoman work, giving you the pictures and accounts of tonight's ball game. The Brockton Boxers go 2-0 on the young season. They'll get it ready, and we hope you fans are ready for a big showdown against Zavarian. That should be a honey of a game. That will be next week. So the Brockton Boxers 2-0 in the young season, win number 299. Congratulations to Armin Colombo and his fine staff as the Brockton Boxers getting off on good footing in the 2000 campaign. We'll be back with more football next week. Join us right here on Brockton Community Television for Brockton Boxer football. For all the gang, Bob Sondheim saying good night from Cape Cod and have a pleasant week.
Shoo-ah.
Shoo, shoo, what a baby.
Shoo-ah.